Have you ever really stopped to think about what separates a good team from a truly great one? It's not always about just raw talent or having the biggest budget. It really comes down to the environment. And today, we're going to dig into Professor Mucci's core principles for creating a space where amazing performance isn't just a happy accident, it's practically guaranteed.
I mean, it's the big question, right? Every leader, every single person on a team asks it. Is there some kind of secret formula, a blueprint for just knocking it out of the park consistently? Well, it turns out the answer is a resounding yes, and it all boils down to creating the right conditions for success.
And here you have it. This one sentence from Professor Mucci. That's our entire roadmap for this explainer. It lays out 4 really distinct but totally interconnected pillars that are the foundation of any, and I mean any, high-performing group. So let's break each one down.
Okay, a really good way to get your head around this is to think of your team like a performance greenhouse, right? You can't just force a plant to grow. It doesn't work that way. But what you can do is create the absolute perfect conditions for it to thrive all on its own. These 4 principles, they are those perfect conditions.
All right, so let's jump into the first essential element, creativity. If we're sticking with our greenhouse analogy, creativity is basically the sunlight. It's the essential energy source that fuels all the new growth and all those bright ideas.
Now, the really crucial thing to get here is that creativity isn't just about having one big idea person on the team. Not at all. It's about building this atmosphere of psychological safety, a place where people feel genuinely secure enough to suggest something new, to challenge how things are done without ever worrying they're going to get shot down.
So what does that actually look like in the real world? Well, it means you're genuinely welcoming those unconventional, out-of-the-box ideas. It means everyone understands that, hey, sometimes things fail, and that's just part of how you innovate. It's about fostering open dialogue and real feedback, and of course, giving people the actual resources they need to explore those new ideas. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, and you'll see how these things start to connect. So if creativity is the sunlight, then autonomy, well, that's all about giving your team the actual space to grow. It's making sure they have enough room to stretch out and reach for that light.
And look, this is not about just letting everyone run wild. That's not what autonomy is. It's a really deliberate act of trust. It's about giving people real control over their own work. And what happens then? It just ignites this powerful sense of ownership and internal motivation. It's simple, right? When you own it, you care about it.
And this slide really just spells it out, doesn't it? The contrast is so stark. In a low autonomy, totally micromanaged world, ownership is pretty much zero. Motivation, it's all external, fear of getting in trouble, or maybe chasing a bonus. But flip that script. In a high autonomy culture that's built on trust, motivation comes from the inside, and innovation isn't just allowed, it's actively encouraged.
Okay, so our third pillar is cohesion. And back at our greenhouse, this is the rich, healthy soil. It's that nourishing foundation that connects absolutely everything and allows those strong roots to really form between everyone on the team.
And I want you to notice the key words here: professional unity. This is not, and I repeat, not about everyone having to be best friends and hanging out on weekends. It's about having a deep, mutual respect for each other's abilities, a truly shared understanding of the mission, and the ability to just work together seamlessly. Yeah, that is such an important distinction to make. A really cohesive team creates synergy, That's where the team's output is way, way bigger than what each person could do on their own. It's like a kind of professional magic that happens when people are genuinely in sync, all pulling toward the same goal. And that brings us to our final, and you could argue, most critical pillar. This is the sturdy trellis in our greenhouse. It's the thing that provides the structure and the support that allows all this amazing growth to happen in a way that's organized and actually productive.
You really have to see this as the essential partner to autonomy. They go hand in hand, because freedom is not chaos. Discipline responsibility means that every single person on the team holds themselves and each other to a really high standard. You don't need a manager breathing down your neck because everyone has this powerful internal sense of accountability for their work. But, a culture like this doesn't just happen by accident. There's a clear path to get there. It all starts with setting crystal clear expectations and providing a consistent, predictable structure. That's what empowers people to take personal ownership, which ultimately leads to that true, deep-down sense of responsibility.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. The most important thing to remember is that these are not just 4 separate ideas you can pick and choose from, like you're at a buffet. They are a system. Each one feeds into and strengthens all the others.
I mean, think about it. Autonomy gives people the freedom they need to be creative. Cohesion makes it safe to share those creative ideas so the team can build on them. And that disciplined responsibility, it makes sure all that amazing energy, the creative, the autonomous, the cohesive energy, is actually pointed in the right direction to get incredible results. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing loop.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Take a hard look at your own environment, at your own team. Which one of these pillars, if you really focused on strengthening just one of them, which one do you think could be the biggest game changer for unlocking a whole new level of performance?